So, any doubts, or do you want me to practice? Do you want me to practice anything, or shall we move on to new topic? So, we'll discuss a new topic called exception today, and we'll revise everything till now what we have seen. So, today we are going to talk about exceptions. Okay, any idea what is exception?
Usually we have it for error handling, right?
Yes. What is exception? So, exception is nothing but an error handling mechanism. How it's going to handle, that is what we are going to talk about today. So it's nothing but error handling mechanism. Okay, so exception contains four blocks in Python. One is try. So the syntax is, the basic syntax is try colon block of code except message. Okay, or block of code, or you can say again a block of code.
A condition.
Yes, so it's up to you. So you can say it's a block of code. You can keep anything you want to. It can be error message which you want to throw, or it can be what you want to perform in case of an exception. So it's depends. Okay, and this is a basic syntax for exception. And so now exception model. Okay. So exception contains four blocks. Let me say block. One is try block of code. And then except, you can say exception as anything you want. It is purely optional. This one is optional. You can see that. And then else part, in case of no exception. And finally, so it's an end of an exception. That's it. So these are the four blocks in exception. Okay. So we are going to talk about in detail. So what exception going to do? Okay. So say for example, I'm going to do something like name equal. So it won't be inaccurate because I'm not detect the leaf here. So it won't be accurate. Just so I'm just explaining that. I'll explain the task. That's it. So let us see which. Okay. So what will I get it? So in case if I say my input is if I say 23, my answer will be what? Yes. Any rough estimate? What it will return? It might be. Any rough estimate? Just try something.
50 million?
50 million. But I would say it will be 23 only, but it will repeat 23, 23, 23, 23, 23, 23.
23 is a string, right?
Yes, because input is string, right? Because it is Python 3, not Python 2. So let me see 23. Let's keep going now. Understand? So 23 will repeat 365 times. Okay, we made a mistake. We're supposed to convert into what? Into
Integer.
integer. Correct. So I can do it here or here. So anywhere you want to. I can do it here also. It's up to you. Okay. So anything will be correct. Okay. Now, so the answer will be roughly it will be like 23. So some say something. Okay. So now what happened? I'm going to do a mistakes. So instead of a number, I'm going to say Prabha. What will happen? What will happen?
Type or conversion.
Yeah.
While conversion.
Is it type error?
We cannot convert the string into integer.
Okay. So you have to think when which type of error going to occur. Okay, when type error will occur. Once Python identifies data type, once it is identified data type, and then if the data type unable to, so if you are doing something which is the data is not able to do that. Say for example, you are going to concatenate integer with string. It is not possible because both are detected data types. One is integer, one is string. Okay, but in this case, you are going to convert a data type. Got it? So you have not decided a data type yet. Then how it is type error? Understand my question?
Yes.
Unable to convert.
Yes, you unable to convert. What will be the error? It won't able to convert anything. So this is a step before a type. Correct? So the error will occur. Here we have already seen that error. So type error will occur whenever object doesn't support that. So what you're actually trying to do means Python identify its data type, and then it will compare with its properties, possibilities. If possibilities doesn't support it, then we will face type error. Here we are not yet converted, so we have not converted yet. Means we are in integer. We are sorry, still it is in string format. We are going to convert it into string. Sorry, integer. So we all know the possibilities. So how to convert it? How type conversion works. So source should support destination. Here we all know a string, a Prabha doesn't support integer property, so it is not possible to convert, right? So here we will face what? What is the error? Just assume what we are actually trying to convert. What is there? So in these terms, I have told you what it is. This one is what? This one is what? This one is what?
Object.
Try to fulfill the error name. So this is what? Age is what?
Variable.
This is this one?
Operators.
Assignment operator.
Assignment
This one?
operator. Value.
Value. So the value is not sufficient to convert means what will be the error? The value is not sufficient to convert into the destination.
Value error.
Value error. That's it. Got it? Invalid literal for int. Unable to convert it. So Prabha won't be converted to integer. It says value error. Got it? Now we are going to handle this error. Try. So where error going to occur, keep it inside a try block. We all know this line might raise error. What to do? If exception occur, okay, I'm going to say return invalid input. So what is the usage of exception error handling? So what happened? This block will never stop your program, so it won't make your program terminate. So it won't allow your program to terminate. Your program still works. So I can say I can go with this next line. If I don't say this error log,
More of like continue.
so error will occur. The line won't move on to print statement, right? The line won't move on to the print statement. Now I'm going to keep the error handling mechanism. Now see. So error was not occurred at all. Got it? So here it doesn't say invalid input. Reason is I have not printed. I have to say print. Now you will get invalid input. So here you got what it says. Your input is something. Okay, you kept ABC, but it says invalid input. You got it as a written value. So we can handle through except block. I told you both else and finally are optional blocks. Okay, both are optional. The mandatory is try and except is mandatory one. Have you understand this? So you need to keep the error part. I mean, if you are confident with this line might occur an error, I need to handle it. So you can keep it inside your try block. If error occur, what happen? It will be move on to except block. So this word works with syntax error because syntax error is prior. So prior for all. So if syntax is valid, then only it is going for an execution. If syntax is invalid, it won't be. Okay, say for example, this is my syntax error. It won't be handled. Got it? So the priority check is syntax. If syntax is valid, then only it will go in for execution. So try will work during an execution step only. So it won't handle syntax error. Apart from that, it will handle everything else. Now,
Sir,
yeah. Yes.
here we are giving the error message as invalid input, right? So
Yes.
without the exception, we got the actual error message. It is a value error,
Yes.
but it is in a generic error message. So
It is not an error message. It is a return. It's like an output. We handle an error and we are saying invalid input. So it won't break your code. Otherwise, what happened? Whenever error occur, your code will be broken, right? So it will prevent your code to broken. Now, if you want to raise it, your own exception, you can say raise keyword. There is a keyword called raise. Okay, in raise, I will show you how actually error handling. So sorry, I mean error, how they are actually returning an error whenever we face an issue. I'll say value error. This is how they are actually raising an error with the help of raise keyword and error name. So your program will be stopped and this line will never work. Got it? It says value error and invalid input. So we can customize it if you want. With the help of the exception, we can customize it if you want. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you.
So we can customize. It's up to us. Okay.
But
So
in
with
this
help of-
case, will I get the last print statement?
no, that is what I said. Raise will broke your code.
Okay.
I said I'm just replicating how they are raising an error. Whenever you're facing error, right? Whenever you say in case of name error, print B, it will say name error, right? How they are raising an error with the help of raise keyword. I'm just explaining that. That's it. With the help of raise keyword, they are raising an error. You can say name error means you can say name error if you want. It's up to you. We can customize. If that text is not sufficient, we can customize it. Okay, but I don't. The usage of why we are actually using error handling, error exception to avoid a broken code. So to avoid program to stop unexpectedly, there we using exception. So that's why I don't need a raise. Instead, I'm going to say return or anything you want. You can say print or return. So it is better to use return. Got it? We can say return. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Now we are going to talk about except in detail. So this is the basic one. The basic one. So we'll keep it common. Basic error handling. Okay, I will comment it. Now, what we can do with except. Now, I want to know what is exact error occurs, but it should not stop your program. So the basic stuff will handle all the type of error without any error messages. Now I'm going to handle it. I mean, I'm going to get it. What is the error message? So what is the error occur and what is the error message? So to find it out, you have to say except exception. Okay, and here except is nothing but what? Except is what?
Returning the message. Yeah?
Except is what?
Is the word.
It's a
Is a word.
reserved keywords. Okay, that's why it's they highlighted with the pink color, right? And this is what? This is built-in function. Okay, exception will handle all the type of error. If you don't say anything, it won't raise any error. It will keeps moving on. But we need to say as allies anything we want. It is ours. Okay, we can say anything. We can say some allies. That's it. So for meaningful term, I say er. I will print it. See, it says this is your error message. Got it? So why we need allies? Reason is we are going to handle the exception through this function. Okay, the function going to return something. We have to fetch that return with the help of allies. Otherwise, what happen if you keep it as it is? This is a function name. Here, except will take care of function calling. And when you say exception inside, what happens? This is again a function reference. You won't get the error message. Instead, it's going to refer the function instead. Got it? So here, except going to take care of function calling. So it will print as it is the exception. That's it. That's it. It will exactly print the exception. That's it. That's why we have to say an allies. What happened? This allies will carry the return value of exception, the function call. Okay. Whenever we say, but here error actually return an error. What is that? Error object, not a string. So here it will look like a print statement. Sorry, I mean a string. Here it will look like a print. I mean a string, but it is not exactly a string. It is an error object. We will check the type. It is an, it's a type. So it's a class, the class error. Okay, but how it's actually how it look like a string? Any guesses? Actually, error is a class, right? But how it is when we print, it look like a string, but it is not exactly a string. Okay, so how they made it. So it is possible with the help of str method. So I will show you that. The sample. So when I instantiate, what happened? This will return class object, right? This will return a class object. Okay. Now, how they made it? With the help of built-in function called, built-in method called str. So this will tell you how to represent your class output. Okay. If we say something. Okay. So when you instantiate your class, show you the two term sample one pass. Okay. Sample one instantiation. I'm going to convert it into string. What happened? So what happened? What happened? When you convert something, what will happen? This is my output, right? When you convert something into string, what will happen? What will happen? What happened if we convert anything into string? Will it work or not?
It will work.
Then what will happen?
It will convert that main dot sample object at 0x, that line.
Convert. Then what it will return? What will I get it when you convert it into string? What str conversion will do? I told you, right? Clearly I said it will going to keep it everything inside a quotes. That's it. This entire object will move on inside a quotes like this. Okay. Now in this function I have not created str, right? In this class I'm having str method. Let's see in a sample. Let's see what it's going to say. So when you convert your class of instantiation, you will get output. Got it? This is the way they have made it. So here, so when you print ER, you got the error message, right? They're actually returning the error message with the help of str method. Okay. So if you use str method, it will look like a string, but it is actually carries a class object. Got it? So when you say DAR for ER, you won't get string property. Instead, you will get class property. Got it? So when I say dir, you will get the class property, not for a string. It won't be string property. Understand? So you can fetch args, trace back, you will get the error name also with the help of this. Okay. So it is purely optional again. If you don't say anything, what happened? It will handle all the type of error, but you won't get any error message. But if you want an error message, you can trace it through exception, and this is the syntax for that. And er is purely optional. You can say er e. It's up to you what you have to use. Understand? So you will get the exact error message. You can return it if you want. Just say return e. It is better to convert. So you got an error message. So, but it will never broke your program. Your program still keeps running on. Understand why we're using error handling? Any doubts? Clear?
Yeah.
Mohinder, how
Yes.
try will know whether it's a error or not?
Pardon?
How exactly, how try here,
Hmm.
try and accept knows that that's an error based on what it understands it's an error.
So what
How?
happened? When error occur, what happened? Your program will be stopped there itself, right?
Right.
But try block, if error occur, it won't allow your program to stop. It will move on to your exception block. So whenever the exception occur in this line, the error is occur, right? It move on to except block, and you can handle what you want to. So do you want to stop or do you want to continue your program? It's up to you. You can decide it whenever error occur. So what happened in such case? You all know this error is obvious, but we don't want program to stop for that error. I mean, I'm having a two function call. Both are independent. That time, one might stop due to some error. It is obvious, but because of that, my second function should not stop. That is error handling. That's why we're using error handling. Now I will run the same program without any error. Let's see what happens. I will enable this. So with error, without error. So this is with error, and I got, so your program returned here itself, and it move on to I'm done. That's it, right? Now without error, I'm going to say 13. I got this output. I mean, your program move out of your except block. Sorry, I mean try block. So it is valid, and it is executed, and it move on to this line. Understand?
Got it.
So it doesn't went through except block because exception doesn't occur. It is like a if else. If occurs, it will move on inside. Otherwise, it will never move on to except block. It will be come outside. It will simply move outside of your exception block. Got it? Have you understand now? If there is a no exception, it will simply move out of it. That's it. Now I'm going to use specific error. I mean, so whenever if you see that error handling mechanism in such program, they might use exact error. Reason is it is a proper way to do programming because you know what is your program going to do. Okay, so I know this line might lead to value error. Got it? Hope you are all clear with it. So if users say any mistakes or users say any invalid input, what happened? This line only leads to value error. I'm sure, damn sure, this line must lead to value error in case of using error, in case of wrong input. So I'm damn sure I can go with a value error. Got it? I'm damn sure this line leads to value error. So So I'm damn sure my program will lead to value error. Okay, but what happens? So when you say instead of value error, if you think your program might, if age is not there, okay, I'm going to say, so just assume here I'm not going to say return, I'm going to say print instead. Okay, what happened? Once done with the exception, this line will move on to return, right? Correct? See, everything is silent. Okay. So for your understanding, I'll say here I'm going to hard code your value, that is 10. Okay, disable this. I'm going to say present age. Okay, so there is a no exception, right? Your program will simply move on to this and it will work as it is. As it is. Got it? Now I'm going to disable this line. So what will happen now? If I say exception, this will handle all the type of error I said, except syntax error. You got name error, name age is not defined. Now I'm going to specify value error. So what will happen?
It will throw a value error message.
Value error message.
Name error.
So your program will be stopped because I wrote exception. I said raise, sorry, just handle when my program raise value error. Otherwise, I have not written anything. So what happened? Leave it as it is. The reason is, so means your program will raise an error because this is completely out of your mind, so out of your thinking, because you all know, you are damn sure with value error, whenever value error occur, you need to move on to except, so you can handle it, like you can put any default instead. But here your program going to return name error, which is out of your mind. Okay, when you say exception, what happened? It will lead to an error again. So say for example, this is name error and I'm going to handle it through exception. Okay, here I'm saying print again. Again you will face name error, right? Because age is not there. It will raise name error inside your exception block. Got it? Because this is a poor way to handling exception. You need to be clear with what error it's going to raise. Okay, when it is value error, you are actually handling it inside. Apart from value error, you need to raise exception because that error is completely out of your mind. Just raise it. So you all know it's going to raise a name error, but apart from my thinking, I don't know. I don't think it's going to write a name error. In that case, I know it might raise a value error or it will be correct. This is my thinking. So you kept value error. Now your program going to raise something else, right? So you need to stop your program. So that case we have to define the exact error. So what happened? Your program will be stopped. We'll say name error because this is completely out of your knowledge. So whenever you're using exact error, then only your program will be under your control. Otherwise, it won't be. Understand? Your program will be in your control when you know what your program going to do. For that, you need to know each line what is going to raise. So in my initial cases, initial say I made a mistake. I have done with exception block. So what happened? I never know what this line going to raise is. What is this line going to raise? Which type of exception or what it's actually going to raise the error. So I never know. I never know what my program going to do. It's really pathetic and it is not good for programming because you will never know what your program going to do. It will always lead to an error. You must know what your program going to say something. Got it? So for that, you should know what it's going to say and what it's going to return at all. Okay, and you should know what your lines, each and every instruction, what it's going to say something at end of your program. So I mean end of the execution. Okay, so in this case, no error occur. Again, it's fine. So if it leads to some such error, you all know it is going to raise a value error. I need to say value error. Apart from that, which is completely out of my mind, please raise error. That's why we are specifying error. And now, if you want to handle multiple error, you need to use this syntax. Say this. You have to use U2. So we can handle multiple error inside. I mean, if your program going to raise more than one error. Now it is say here name error also handle inside a block. But see, in between two, any one error will going to handle at a time, because whenever your program facing an error, it will stop there itself. It won't move. It will never move out of it, right? So even you can keep n number of errors, say value error, name error, type error, etc. But still, what happened? It will handle one at a time. Whenever you facing an error, your program will stop there itself. So don't bother about it. So whenever it occurs, so if it is value error, it will be value error. If it is a name error, it will be name error. Okay, it won't. Both error will never going to happen at the same time. You won't get two error at the same time. Any one error at a time only. So don't bother about it. Now in this case, like we want to say 10 less 10. Now what will happen? In this case, what will happen?
Number cannot be concatenated.
What happened?
Type error.
Type error.
Will it is your program going to raise error, or it will handle it?
It will raise error.
It will raise error because we have not kept a type error, right? This will lead to what?
Type error.
Type error, correct? So I have not handled type error, so it will raise exception. So when I say type error, you will get the exact error message. It says unsupported operand. Understand?
So the value error, type error, these are the function also, right? Like
It's a built-in function.
exception.
It's a built-in function. And you want to know which type of function it is, means we have to print. So there is a var there, right? So you will find easily find it out. Either class, you will get which type of error it is. Understand?
Yes.
Okay. So this is all about try, except. Now we'll move on to else. What is else? Okay. So else is purely optional, and we can use it for no exception, or what to do in case of no exception. Okay. So now so it won't raise any exception. So if I say ABC, exception will occur, right? What will be the error? Will it raise exception, or it will handle it, or your block going to handle it? What will happen?
It won't handle because that is a value error.
Yes, it is a value error, so it won't handle. It is an error. I have to change it into value error. Now it will handle it. Okay. So what happened? Else block isn't work at all, right? Because there is a no exception. Now, if I run once again without error, so I'll say 12. It says no exception occurred. So else is purely optional. It will work whenever there is a no exception. It is like if else. If the exception occur, we'll move on to except block. If there is a no exception, it will be move on to else block. And you can perform anything you want to. So if there is no error means you can say something. Understand? So this is else block, and finally the finally block. So finally will work all the time, even no matter whether exception occur or not. Okay. So here exception doesn't occur. So it says block or base because the finally block works, and without exception. Sorry, if now there is an exception, still it says will work always. Understand? So finally it means end of an exception. So you can specify I'm done. So or the exception is done. The exception block done. So you can indicate exception block done. So we can indicate that exception done. Okay. Or in case if it is a correct input, still you can say that exception done. That's it. Okay. This is all about finally.
Uh,
Yes. Yes.
when we are running the code, we get the error message either in the return statement or in the else
Yeah,
statement.
because of return.
Purpose of using the final statement.
So here I'm getting exception, right? It is a print statement. I wrote print. I wrote it inside a print. I've not used return at all. If you use return, what happened? You won't get this out because your function written here itself. You won't get return because that's why I'm not saying return. I'm using print instead. Got it? So return is located at the end of your function. That's why you're getting this again. Understand? Are you clear?
Okay.
Any doubts? Any doubts in this? So we will revise everything once again. So let me know if you have any doubts. So just please raise your questions across your syllabus. Or what do you want me to repeat? So I can revise it. No doubts?
Bro, I have one doubt. Hello.
Yes, yes.
How to execute one method into inside the another method? That means I want to execute. I have two classes. One is I have two methods. One is A and one is B.
Okay.
So in B method, I want to fetch the A method result. So in this case, how can we proceed?
Is it what you're asking, right?
Hmm.
You need A method result, right?
Yeah.
What to do? Tell me. Shall I say like this? Is that enough?
I think no.
Why?
That will consider as a local variable inside
So
in method
local
B.
is, so there is a local variable. Then what happens? So what do you want to consider as?
It will raise name error.
Why name error? If global is there means
It will print.
okay.
If it is global, it will print. But
So if I want to use a method, what to do? Anyone else? We have seen a lot of times, right? That is, I've clearly shown you the difference between using a local variable and a class object inside your function or inside your method. What to do? If you want to use a method A, what to do? You can answer, try.
Initiate, you should initiate that.
Why initiate?
Initiation.
What do you mean by initiation? That's why I said without practice, it is hard to understand. And the session will move on like a name means it. What to do? Prabhakar. If I use A as it is, you are correct. It's A, it will raise a name error, it will lead to name error. Then if I want to access a class method, class object, what to do?
Self.a.
Self dot
A.
Is that fine? Is that enough? A is what?
A is a method.
So then what to do? Is that fine?
Instantiation.
Instantiation.
Self.a. Instantiation.
Instantiate. Why? What do you mean by instantiate? Instantiation for what? Where we have used term instantiation. Is that fine? So if I say self.a, will it return a 5? Will it return 5? Will it return 5?
No, that's in the different block actually. It's in the. It's again
Where?
a name error.
Why
Again
name
a.
error?
Actually,
Attribute.
Attribute error. Why attribute error? Is A is not exist?
So attribute.
How attribute error? I don't understand. So it is A is exist. You are so we are all seeing that, right? It is there. Then how we are actually saying attribute error? How you are actually saying attribute error? It is exist, right? This exists. If it is A, then it will say attribute error. The A is exist. Then why you are saying attribute error? It's really tough if you don't practice. It is really useless if I move further, because we are all done with fundamentals in this class itself. Hereafter, we are going to talk about file handling. It's a completely advanced topics, and it's up to you. So if you can understand it, so I can keep going on from tomorrow. It's up to you. But if you have doubts, please ask me. It's up, because I'm gonna keep on saying that please do practice, please do practice. So it is it's up to you, because I don't have to say anything. So not telling me. So I created a class. I wrote a method. I'm going to return something. You're saying instantiation for function. It is called function call. But you're saying instantiation. This is called instantiation. A is a method. So we have to use syntax close and open bracket. For class only, it's called instantiation. For function, it is function call. This is the way you are struggling to answer self. Then what is the use of self? Is self. We all know inside a method, if you want to access class object, the only way is using self. You all know that, right?
Mm.
That's the reason why self is there. Otherwise, why we need self? I have clearly said inside a function, we can able to access a local variable or a global variable. But if you want to access a class object, we must say self dot. That this is what we have seen from very first from in a class section. That is a usage of self. That is what I said. For local global, we don't need anything. We can simply say that because that is a precedence. That is a priority. We're looking for a local. If it is not, we're looking for a global, and then finally it's a built-in. But if you want to access a class object inside a method, you must say self dot because self will help you to utilize view. It will allow you to use. View or edit. It will allow you to view, edit, or it will allow you to create a new class object inside your function. During instantiation, during the runtime. That is it. That is advantage of self. Self means class instance. Self is nothing but a class instance, and again, it is a user-defined term. You can rename anything you want to, but it won't be meaningful if you use something else. That's why we kept self. So tell me if you have any doubts.
So if in a method I have x equal to 10, so can I call that x equal to 10 in B method?
Like this?
No, just instead of return 5, x equal to 10.
You mean like this,
It's
right?
like a local variable inside the method.
Then how it is
So
possible?
I want to call that local variable.
Like this, right?
Yeah.
Will it work or not? So, and answer me till now what you understand. From your understanding. Just answer me from your understanding.
So we can access the objects. I thought before we can access the objects outside of the method, but it will be in class. But it will be outside of method. We can
What do
call
you
by
mean?
self.
What do you mean by outside of a method?
Class sample.
What is this?
Then a equal to 10,
What
b
is
equal
this?
to 10. Then we
What is
define
this?
the method.
What is
Okay.
this? This one is what?
That is a local variable.
Local variable. Local means what?
We can use it inside only that functions
Only inside
the functions are
defined
method.
function. Only inside defined function. I have kept inside A, right? It doesn't have any scope outside. That's it. Idiot. So what will happen if I execute this line? What will happen?
Name error. X is not defined.
That's it. Name error. You have an answer.
So we can't access the local variable.
Yes.
One method local variable inside to another local.
Yes.
Another method, right?
Yes. If you want to access, what to do? If you want to access, what to do? If you want to access, what to do? Either define it as a global. That's the one way. If you say global,
Make it as a global variable.
Global means even you can access outside class. But if you want to access only between a class, inside a class means what to do?
A dot x we need to use.
A dot x. How you see A dot x? A is a function, right? How will you add some object into A? Is it A dot x? I said register under class, not under function. How many times should I need to repeat? How will you say it is register under function? How it is? How it's logical? I told you, right? You have to register under class. Then only you can able to access even with other method also. I mean, so you need to register under class. How to register under class? Just before I said, what is the usage of self? Why we
Yeah,
have self?
self.x. Yeah, self.x.
That's why please do practice. I'm not saying for me, it's for you. If I say print X, what will happen? Shall I say print X?
Self.x.
Self dot
X.
X. Is that fine? If I execute,
Yeah.
what will happen now?
We need to pass the value
Why? Where?
b of
B of.
some.
Do we have any argument apart from self inside?
No, no.
So is that correct?
Yes, correct. It will say 10.
So then what will happen? What will happen? So self dot X will print 10. Will I get 10?
Yes, you should get 10 now.
How? How will I get 10? Where I have written, sir, where I kept X, or I mean a class object X, where I've written it, where I wrote. I've written inside method A, right?
Right.
I told you whenever you writing a class object inside a method means it is instance of a class. I mean a temporary instance. It will never register under a class. So it won't constructed until you have to call the method. If it is constructor, we have to so instantiation is enough. But apart from that, we need to call that. And I'm not called this function yet. Then how I will get X? How will I get it? I have not called A, right? I have not called
Yeah.
at all. Then
Yeah, yes.
then then what happened? This method will be executed, but it will lead to an error. What will be the error?
Na-
Name error.
Name error.
Name error X is not defined. Is it correct?
Yeah.
How will you
Actually,
say name error?
self.a should be there. Okay. Why? Because we have
How
not,
name error? So
X is not there.
is it
X
both are
is,
same line? Is this and this a same line? See, what is the difference between name error? What do you mean by name error? Am I say am I just X alone? If it is X alone, you can say name error. That's why I asked you, right? Print. Shall I say print X alone? When I say print X alone, you can say name error. It's correct. But here I said self.x.
attribute error, sir.
Self is what? Self is there, so it won't raise name error. But X is not created at all, so it will lead to attribute error. Now I'll call the method A. So hopefully, so sorry, I have to pass something. Okay. Now I've called method A. Now
Still
this
same
is for your
attribute.
debugging purpose. Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
still attribute error. Why? Because
Why?
we have not yet, X is yet not. We have not given anything in the
Anything where?
here.
I've called A, method A. I'm calling method B.
But me in B we are not calling any. A is not called, right?
So this is different line and this is different line. Correct?
Yeah.
So it
Yes.
leads to attribute error. So what to do? You have to assign it to something. Now CLS dot B. What happened? And just keep on doing for your understanding. So how you are actually understand the code. That's it. So don't mistake. So now what to do? What will I get it?
Same attribute error only.
Attributor.
Exactly same attribute error. So now I'm saying A. I'm passing something. Okay. What happened? The method will be called, right?
Hmm.
Now now
Same attribute error.
no, because when you say class dot, you are actually saving your instantiation into some variables. I've saved my instantiation into variable and I'm calling this class. When you calling this, what happened? This is constructed and it will be resides in CLS. Now, this is the difference between this and this. This is purely independent. You are instantiating and you are calling a method. Again, you are instancing means this will create a new memory for this. But this is not like that. Here it's a one time. Once you instantiate it, whenever you're calling the method, each time. So when you say A, what happens? This will be constructed under CLS. I told you it will be reside until you are utilizing CLS. So you will get 10. So CLS dot X is what? Will I get it or not?
10.
10. So again, I'm doing for your understanding CLS1. Got it? CLS1 dot X. See the class? Here is the class. Now I'm saying CLS dot X. Sorry, CLS1 dot X. Sort of.
10.
10. How? How 10? Am I having anything X in the class? During is it constructed during instantiation? Am I written any constructor here? I just did instantiation. Am I having any constructor inside? Am I having any constructor inside? No, right? No, right?
No. Hmm.
Then what will happen?
Attributor.
So there is a no X at all, right? So what to do? What to do? If a no
E.
X, what to do? A of something, any input. Now see the DAR. You got X. Got it? So when you say CLS1 dot X, the answer would be answer is what?
10, 10.
10.
Because it is hard coded one. The answer is 10. That's it. So that's why I'm saying you have to do practice. You will clearly understand class whenever you start to practicing because otherwise you won't understand class. This is a much important OOPS concept. So please do practice. So you won't get any issue with the function, but it will be difficult to understand class until proper practice. But
Naveen,
once you yes,
yeah, I have pasted in that calculator thing in the.
okay,
Actually, I am failing. Just in the chat.
okay.
So it's giving name error. No, I have kept that in the chat window.
Yeah,
Just check.
yeah, got it. do you mean by x equal to 0, y equal to 0?
Actually, it's giving
That's-
name error, so I have
that's why
taken
it
that as
raises. Pardon?
integer. To make that as a integers
What do you mean by x equal to 0?
means x is equal O.
That's why it says name error. Because you are checking. It says name. It will lead to name error. Obviously, this line will lead to name error. You will get error in very first line itself because you are checking x is equal to 0, but x does not exist at all.
But if I say just x equal to 0, also it's taking not
No,
equal.
no, it won't. It is taken. It looks. It looks. Now, see, I have to say return. Seems others are correct only, so it's not a problem. Others are all correct only. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Now it leads to name error because what is XY means? You need to add. You need to say something, right?
Yeah, I have
You don't
taken
need that.
calculator. Yeah,
You don't
3
need
comma 4. I have comma 3 comma 4.
y x comma y. What do you mean by x comma y? Where it is there? Now it leads to a name error again. It leads to name error. What do you mean by xy? So in instantiation, do I need to pass anything? I have not. I have not. I don't. You actually did not written any constructor at all, right? You don't have any constructor. If you have any constructor, then it is good to keep. So you need to pass something. But I'm not having constructor at all, so you don't need to pass anything, right? You don't need to pass. Now when you say CLS.add, the answer will be 7. It's correct. X plus Y. Sorry, you are saying local variable, but you are actually adding class 1. Got it? So you have to say
Return x plus
or
y.
self dot x comma self dot y equal to x comma y. Now it's fine. Now you will get 7. 7. And we are actually going to save the results. Okay.
Got it.
Self dot result and say return what? What to return?
Cell dot result.
Self dot result. That's it. So your result will be recorded. Right? So now when you say CLS dot sub CLS dot sub, so I just say single one value. Got it? So x should be taken from self dot x should be taken from self dot result. Okay, self dot y equal to y. So similarly, I have to do the same thing here also. Okay. So when I say sub, the answer would be fine. Got it? It takes 3 plus 4, 7 minus 2, 5. Keeps going on. You need to modify this too. Understand? This is how it makes. You clear?
Yeah, got it. Actually.
So you found where you made a mistake. So you're actually adding you are actually passing into local variable, but you are actually performing operations with class object instead of your local variables. Got the difference? I found your mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you so much, because whenever you start to practicing, then only will you clearly understand what is self and class structure. Okay, please do practice.
Yeah.
So anything, any doubts? If you want to keep it independent, it is fine. So you can say x comma y. You can pass two inputs. But if you want to be continuous, then it will be this is the good one. So you can fetch it from the results. Okay. So tomorrow we'll talk about a file handling. So how to parse a file, how to fetch content from your file, and how to write it back to file. Okay, with the help of modules. So you will
Bro,
easily yeah.
this self.res, right?
Yes.
In add and in sub, that is reside on both methods. So it will contain same value.
It won't contain same value. It is depends on your instantiation. So we are using self.results in instantiation, right, inside a method. So the result will be there until your instance alive. So it will be there until your instance alive. So say for example, when you say add, what happened? Your result will be, so when I print cls.result, when I print cls.result, so here, okay. See the results. So before it is 0, you fetch from class object, and then when you add, what happened? It is expanded. So I mean, sorry, the value was added together and it says 7. Now after sub, your result was subtracted by 2. So the answer is 5. It will be alive until CLS exists. I mean the class instance exists.
Okay,
And then
bro. If I use that self-taught result in multiple, that method means what will be the value in that
what would be?
self-taught result?
Tell me. It is up to you. So it is up to the priority.
It's
So when you use it first time, when you use
subtraction.
when you use it CLS dot multiply, when you use it CLS dot multiply, what happened? It is up to you. Okay, it's up to you. So where we are actually using it. When you say 2 comma 3, so in after multiply it says just 2 3 6. But when you say okay, now what happened? What will happen? What will be the result if I say like that? It is what, 2 into 3 6 into
Result means it will take a method or add
no
or sub. subtraction method.
See,
Which one we taking?
I'm calling multiply very first time. So 2 into 3, 6. 6 into what?
Self-taught result means
Before this method, what is the result value?
0.
0. The answer is
0.
0. Answer is 0. Okay, I'm going to move this line. I'm going to move this line. See that. Now it will be 7. The result will be 7. Okay, 2 into 3, 6. 6 into 7, 42.
40.
It is depends. So where you're actually residing. No, it is 42.
Okay.
Understand? So see, in the subtraction, what happened? 42 minus 2, I'm getting 40. You need to understand the flow. That's it. It will be that is what I said. It will be resized until the instance exists. So if once you do start practicing, you will clearly understand. So
if I want to use that add result in multiplication means
you can, yeah, you need to write the code according to that. So in very first beginning stage, it is not in a proper order, right? So he did what he knows. That's it. If you want to be more flexible, you need to think. Write it as flexible. So you can whenever you want, just say add once again. It's up to you. So now you don't need to say x comma y. You need to replace something like this. Got it?
so can we store that self-taught result add self-taught result in one variable, then use that variable in multiplication? That method is
Yes. Yeah, try that. Yeah, try and share the code so everyone get a benefit. Okay.
okay.
Thank you. So we'll see that tomorrow. Okay. So we'll see what is file learning. Yes. So is that fine? Hello. 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 Seems very